The best of the Morning X. 99X.
The Morning X, Barnes, Leslie, and Jimmy. Make us say, wow. It's not that easy, though, Nan.
Oh, I've got a good one.
Let's hear it. Make us say, wow.
Okay. I'm a registered nurse, and when I was a student nurse, I was working in an emergency room. And this was in the 70s when disco was real popular. This guy got brought in by ambulance, and he had those real tight disco pants on and platform shoes. He was drunk, and he had fallen off of his shoes and sprained his ankle real bad. So we were cutting up his pants leg so the doctor could check his ankle and check his knee and all. And we're cutting. And all of a sudden, we exposed this giant salami taped to his leg to make it look like he was very large.
He had the salami taped in his disco pants.
Yes. Well, to his leg so that it bulged in his pants.
I don't know if that's a wow.
Yeah, that wouldn't be it. That's an interesting story.
Yeah, we are looking for stories that will make us drop our jaw.
One time was the guy who was walking out of a job interview, and a guy jumped off a building in New York, and his brain splattered all over his back.
That's a wow.
That's a wow.
That's a wow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Salami taped to the leg, not a wow.
Thank you, though, Nan.
Brains on the...
Dan.
Let's keep going.
This is Dan.
Make us say, wow, Dan.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a Redskins fan. I was at a football game about 4 years ago, and the Redskins were getting beat by the Cowboys 31-0. We're sitting on the front row with about 3 attorneys. I'm not, though. And something had to be done. So as a big play happened and everyone turned and looked at the field, I jumped the fence and ran out on the sideline. And so I didn't want to be seen. I got up right close to the players, and I'm standing next to a coach, a line coach. I don't know who he was. And he's yelling about a flag, and he's asking, did you see the flag? Did you see the flag? And he turns to me, and he goes, I see the flag. I see the flag. And you're damn right I see the flag. And so he's starting to call plays. He's putting his palm up to the air. And he's pushing upward, and he's pushing upward. So I'm doing the same thing. And the attorney guys are looking at me, and they're yelling at me the same thing. Get back in the seats. You're going to get thrown in jail. And so I turned to him. I told him I'm coming to third down. So I'm using my fingers 3, and I'm pushing my hand up in the air. And make a long story short, the Redskins scored on that drive. And I think it was because we had the Cowboys confused as to what plays we were calling.
Well,
Wait, they thought you
were a coach?
Yeah, they did, and the guys were yelling at me, and I was yelling back. And with that, some guy comes up next to the coach and says, Coach, that guy shouldn't even be on the damn field. And so I start backing up a little bit to get away from him. And with that, the play comes right in front of us, and the guy gets tackled. And the guy who narked on me was standing in front of me, and I wouldn't let him back up, and he fell on the ground right on top of Mitchell. And we scored on that drive, and I ran back in the seats, and the attorneys took me and got my ass out of the ball field real fast.
Tell you what, this guy, first of all, knows how to tell a story.
You are a great
one.
storyteller.
Is that a true story?
I swear to God, it's a true story. And the staff meeting next Monday started off by one of the attorneys telling him the craziest story ever seen.
So you run down on the field and just start mixing in with the officials and making calls.
With the coaches?
With the coach.
With the
coach. I'm just doing what the coach is doing. If he's putting his hand up in the air, I'm putting my hand up in the air. And then the guys behind me keep going, Dan, come on back. I'm saying third down. So I got this.
Can I ask what made you do this? Had you had like a few beers?
We were losing 31-0. It was really sad. So, I mean, just had to do something.
You were just a fan. Unbelievable.
Sounds like something I would do.
Is that a wow?
You know what? I'm giving that a wow. I like his energy.
I will definitely give that a wow.
That's pretty funny.
You get the wows.
I'll take it. Thank you.
Hysterical.
See if we can get another wow.
Yeah.
Todd.
All right. Well,
what's your story?
Little story here. Went skydiving for the first time up in Conyers, and
Wow.
a couple buddies and I did the accelerated free fall from 14.5.
You're crazy.
14,500 feet. So we go through the 6-hour class, and we're up there and decide to, here we go. So we go up there and jump, land, we're high-fiving. We're like, yeah, it's awesome. First time jumping out of an airplane, and we hear this big ruffle noise. And the guy that fell behind us jumped out of the same airplane, had a big what they call a streamer. So he cut away,
yeah, I know what
and
that
he
is.
never pulled a second chute. And we watched him fall from about 3,000 feet all the way to the ground. Pow! It was kind of a screwed-up story, but...
Did he die?
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, that's a screwed-up story.
Did you know the guy?
No, we just went up in the airplane. We were in the school with him the whole time.
But like your first time to see that.
A streamer is when the cords get tangled in the chute, and rather than it opening, it doesn't open. It just it's like a big streamer.
Yeah,
That's correct.
That makes you want to take up skydiving.
That was our last time.
I bet. All right. Thanks, Todd.
Very first time, and that happens.
Sherry.
Yes.
Make us say wow.
Okay, my husband and I had gone out to Dave & Buster's one night, and it was the first time I had ever played blackjack. And we went into the little casino room in there,
And you just play for fun. But we started out with like $10,000 worth of chips, you know, and I was starting off really low because I'd never played, and I kept winning. So, you know, eventually through the night, I'd built up to like $500,000 worth of chips.
Okay.
And you either turn in your chips or you lose them. I mean, you don't win anything. So I thought, well, let's bet everything. So I bet like $500,000 worth of chips, and I hit blackjack.
So now you have over $1 million worth of chips.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's Dave and Buster's money.
It's always good in a fantasy world.
man.
It takes the wowness away a little bit. But
Oh, but it was my first time.
Sherry,
Yeah,
had
that's
that
good.
been in Vegas, we would have given you a big wow, and you would have given us a loan.
Hey, well, my husband said if he'd had the money, we'd have been on a plane that night.
That's a good story, though.
yeah, that's a good story.
Oh,
But,
come on.
well, it's Dave and Buster's money.
Hey, the dealer said wow.
Huh?
The dealer said wow.
But
Well, then
it didn't hurt anybody.
Oh,
No one got the
no.
cash.
It's just not I mean, it's like I own 6 hotels. Okay, it's Monopoly. But you know.
Well, it has the potential to be a wow.
Yeah, well, it's a good story. It's a good story.
Yeah, thanks, Sherry.
Okay, thanks.
Dane, last one. Make us say wow.
Okay. When I was in college, I was driving with my boyfriend back from Orlando to Auburn. And we were on the road, and it was in Florida, and you know how the roads are really flat there, so if it rains just a little bit, it starts to get kind of slippery on the road.
Slick, yeah.
And so we were driving down the road, and I was driving, actually, and there was a lot of traffic, and people started slamming on their brakes, and I hit mine and slid off into the median and hit like a concrete ditch that was in the median of the two highways. And so we get out, and he goes to walk up. We couldn't get the car, you know, back out of it because it was in the concrete. So he walks up to one of those phones to call a tow truck. And a man pulled up in a Jeep, and he had his, like, 7-year-old son in the Jeep, and he said, well, I'll tell you what, I've got some rope. So he is at the car, hooking up the rope to our car, and I'm standing kind of by the Jeep, but a little bit further down. And I'm watching him hook the rope up. And Mark is walking back, and all of a sudden he starts screaming, Dane, run, run! He's screaming as loud as he can. And I turn around and look, and an 18-wheeler is sliding off the road at the exact same spot that we had come off the road. And I dove out of the way, and the 18-wheeler ran over the spot that I was standing in.
Oh, wow.
And flipped over.
Oh, my.
And
Flipped?
everybody on the two roads, because it was a two-lane highways going both ways with the median in between, were watching me almost get hit by the 18-wheeler. They start sliding off the road, hitting each other and coming into the median, and there was probably about 25 or 30 car wrecks on both sides of the highway. Hitting trees, cars were hitting trees. They were coming in at the median at us, and I was just standing there in the middle as cars were just flying right by, and I couldn't move because any spot that I was at, I could have gotten hit because the cars were just coming. And I just stood there and waited until, you know, and you could hear them hitting trees, and you could hear them hitting other cars, and it was just like a two-lane or a pileup going both ways.
Good story.
And
That's scary, too.
I started it.
Yeah, not a wow, but a good story.
I don't
That's
know.
not a wow.
It's got to have a wow factor.
I think it's a great
wow.
story. It's a great story, but I'm not feeling a wow. I don't know why.
Someone said wow when the 18-wheeler almost hit me.
No, yeah, but that was just kind of a figure of speech wow.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it's a great story. I just, you got to feel the wow. You know what I'm
Just
saying?
feel the wow.
You got to be the wow.
It's a great explanation,
Yeah, had
though. I'm
you-
sitting there imagining all this happening.
Had you been hit by the 18-wheeler,
Would have been better.
would have been a wow.
You're listening to the best of the Morning X.
How can you, in any good faith, continue to do a show like this knowing there's a very strong possibility that the entire show is BS?
Barnes, Leslie, and Jimmy. 99X.